What is up, everybody? Mr. Bumbleflower back at it again. I'm pretty tired today, but it is prime time to make a video because all my people in my house are either sleeping or at work. So we'll just power through it, see what we can get. Going to the polls today. Looks like Cleopatra Exiled Pharaoh won the polls with one solid vote. So we are going to make a Cleopatra deck. Let's just jump right into it. Drop over to Mox Field. Create a new deck. Just name it Cleopatra. If that's how you spell it. Cleopatra Exiled Pharaoh. We'll create it like that for now. I don't know if she has better art. Let's see if she does. Ooh, she does. Cleopatra's from one of the newer Assassin's Creed sets. I think it came out a little earlier this year. Let's do a little zoom in so we can see her. And then she basically says, allies at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 other target legendary creatures. So at the end step, you can put 2 +1/+1s on your legendary creatures. And then betrayal, whenever a legendary creature with counters on it dies, draw a card for each counter on it. And then you lose 2 life. So she's green-black. Gives us a little bit to work with. Lots of counters we can use. But I think I just wanted to make like a all legendary creature deck. I think that sounded really fun with Cleopatra. And legendary creatures are pretty strong by themselves usually. That's why they're commanders. But I feel like Cleopatra could really get some use out of all the legends. Like, there's been a lot of legendary support this year. So let's jump into it. ADH Rec. Our favorite place to go. We'll look up Cleopatra. We'll click Legends because that's what we want. Let's do a little zoom in. And let's get to scrolling. Let's see, legendary creatures that we want legendary creatures that go with the agenda. We want big fight sticks or things like that. Things that don't really care if they die. If they die, they give us bonuses. Or things that can work off the +1/+1 counters. We'll see what we can find here. New cards. I don't think I want to add loot. Although he does give us some landfall. I don't think I want to add loot here. Kona Rescue Beastie could be okay at the beginning of your second main phase. If he's tapped, you can put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. I don't feel like that's horrible. I mean, if we want to just build off legends and have a bunch of different legendary creatures in here, that seems pretty good. Let's see. Tavar the Pummeler. Tap another untapped creature you control. Tavar the Pummeler gains indestructible until the end of turn. Tap it. Creature control get +X/+X until the end of turn, where X is the greatest power. I think that one's pretty mid. I'm gonna pay Blasphemous Edict. I think probably was gonna include this anyway. it's just a board wipe. Each player sacrifices 13 creatures. Not too bad. Let's see, Rev Tithe Extractor. She's a legendary. Whenever you attack, target creature gets Death Touch until the end of the turn. And then whenever one or more creatures you control deal damage, create a treasure token. Then look at the top card of that player's library, exile it face down, you may cast that card. I like having things get Death Touch. That's nice, I guess. But I don't know if I want that in my life. I mean, it's a 4-drop. We're going to be pretty creature focused, creature heavy. We'll put a bookmark in her. Let's see, high synergy cards. Alright, we're getting into it now. When Rishkar Hema Renegade enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Each creature you control with a counter. Yeah, that's something we want to add. It's also a legendary creature. Rayhan, Last of the Abzan. It's a legendary. Enters the battlefield with 3 +1s on it. Whenever a creature you control dies or is put into the command zone, if it had a +1 count, you may put that many +1 counters on target creature. Oh, okay. Well, that works pretty well with our agenda. It's only a 3-drop too, these two are. Alright, Frasca joins up. Legendary enchantment. Put a death touch counter on each creature you control. Whenever a legendary creature you control deals combat damage, draw a card. That sounds pretty fucking good, if you ask me. It's a 2-drop legendary enchantment. Okay. Let's see. Flying, first strike. Draina, Liberator of Malakir. It's an ally. Whenever Draina deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature you control. Okay. Seems simple enough. We're working. Hydra Horror. It's a legendary. Whenever it enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever another creature you control dies, if it had a +1 on it, put a +1 counter on Grakmaw. Whenever Grakmaw dies, create X black and green Hydras, where X is the number of +1s on it. Seems pretty good to me. Let's see, Yahini. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1 counter. Sacrifice another creature, he gains indestructible. Okay, we can sack people. We can do all sorts of stuff. Arwen, Weaver of Hope. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with a number of additional +1/+1 counters on it, equal to Arwen, Weaver of Hope's toughness. Okay, that's good. That's really good. Starting to see a trend now. Let's see, hardened skills. Yeah, we want some doubling the counters play here. One or more +1s will be put on creature. That many +1. Yeah. We got Kadom of the West Tree. Legendary creature Spirit. Modified creatures you control have Trample. Deals combat damage to a player. Search your library for a basic land. Put it onto the battlefield. Sounds pretty good to me. Innkeeper's Talent's pretty good too. Basically it just you can level it up, and at the beginning of combat on your turn you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So at the beginning of combat you do it, and then Cleopatra is at the end of your end step you do it. So that's immediately a good effect. And then level 2 is permanents with counters have wards. And then level 3 is if you put one or more counters on a permanent, put twice that many instead. Really good card. Alright, let's see. Honest Rutstein. When it enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. We are going to be doing. I don't think I've ever used this guy as like a mana helper. I don't know what to call the cost mana reducer. So, why not? He's pretty cheap. Let's see, Assassin's Trophy. Destroy target permanent opponent controls. His controller may search their library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. That's not bad for. That's like a green-black kind of card. Branching Evolution. That just doubles our +1/+1 counters. We definitely want that. Bristly Bill. Landfall. Put a +1/+1 on target creature. So it doesn't even have to be on him. It can be on target creature. He's pretty good. He's also a legendary. He's expensive though, my goodness. Alright. Well, I can see why. He's really good. Nature's Lore. I don't know if we want Nature's Lore. Reiki, the history of Kamigawa. Whenever you play a legendary spell, draw a card. Yes. We are doing Legends Matter in this deck. Let's see. Feign the Broker. I wonder if we have any more cards that are similar to Reiki. Similar cards? Oh, there are. Sacrifice 3, search your library for a card. That's weird. Alright. None of these are in our color combination. That's unfortunate. And then, let's see. Renata. Renata's power is equal to your devotion to green. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1. That's not bad at all. Helps our agenda a little bit. It's a little pricey with 4 mana, but we're playing green, so we're probably going to add some legendary creature mana ramp in here eventually. Let's see. What does Feign the Broker do? Sacrifice a creature. Put 2 +1/+1s on target creature. Remove a counter from a creature you control. Create a treasure token. Sacrifice an artifact. Create a inkling creature token. Untap. Pay 4 to untap. That seems like he has combos. Let's look if he's got any good combos. No. Is he new? No, he's not new. It's Commander. Combos. This is what I'm looking for, I think. Feign the Broker. That's not even, that doesn't have. Alright, let's see if I can continue here. Alright, Feign the Broker, we're looking at his combos. Puppeteer click enters the battlefield, put target creature card from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Can't say it's at the beginning of your next instant exile. what this one's about. Infinite colorless mana, infinite death triggers. Infinite colorless mana is nice, but I don't think that's gonna win us the game in this deck. Because we don't really have ways to infinitely draw. I don't really want to go the pitiless plunder route. What's this? Biotransference. Are artifacts and other types the same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that are on the battlefield? When you cast an artifact spell, you lose 1 life and create a 2/2 black Necron warrior. That's kind of cool. Throw Thornbite stuff in there. Whatever, yeah. That goes. You throw Thornbite Staff on Thane. You tap him, sacrifice someone. Then whatever creatures put in. This looks kind of cool. Third ability. Okay. So, sacrifice an artifact. Create a 2/1 white and flying inkling. Oh, okay. When the creature dies, Fane triggers untapping itself. Resolve the Fane ability from step 1, creating a inkling creature. Repeat. Infinite death triggers. Infinite sack triggers. Couldn't you technically do that with this and put infinite +2s as well? Yeah. That seems pretty diverse. I like it. I don't hate that combo. I think we're going to put a pin in it though. Uses some unique cards I've never used before. Dross Scorpion seems to do the same thing, but it's a creature. I think I like the Scorpion one better. I kind of hate using Thornbite Staff if I don't have to. Oh. I think that might be the play. I don't think I want to go through all these. There's a bunch of them. I think I'm just gonna settle for this for now. I don't even know if I want to throw combos in this deck. So let's just keep going. Let's not worry about combos too much. Unless it's an obvious combo. We're mainly worried about legendary creatures. We got Trample, we got Surak and Goreclaw. Other creatures you control have Trample whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control. Let's see, Surak the Goreclaw, Trample. control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains haste until the end of turn. 4, 5, that's a 6 mana drop. I don't think I'm ever going to use it. Target creature gains indestructible for 1 mana. Or you can drop a land if you need it. Sure, why not? We'll add some weird stuff like that in there. Alright, creatures. This is the good stuff right here. This is what we're wanting to get into. A Phyrexian zombie elf. First strike, death touch. When it deals combat damage to a player, you can either draw a card, destroy target enchantment, or remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. That's pretty good for the enchantment removal. Also lets us draw some more cards. I like that a lot. Okay, let's see. Mirren of Clanil Toth. Human Shaman. Whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. At the beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that card's mana value is less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have, return it to the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Oh. That's some pretty good graveyard play. I kind of just want all the really good legendaries, you know? Legolas Greenleaf, can't be blocked. Whenever another legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1. That's exactly what we want to be doing. Whenever a Legolas Greenleaf deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. I can get out of hand pretty quickly with how many legends we're dropping. Polukranis Enchanted. Enters the battlefield with 6 +1s on it. It escapes with 12 +1/+1 counter on it instead. Exile 6 other cards from your graveyard and cast it for its escape. If damage would be dealt to Polukranis while it has a +1/+1 counter on it, prevent that damage and remove that many +1s from it instead. That sounds bad. It's like really bad. Like it's a big monster, but it just dies. It doesn't have trample. It doesn't. Alright, Lily Bowen. I was thinking about Lily. Because I built a deck with her when she first came out, and she actually went pretty hard. At the beginning of upkeep, double number +1s on Lily. Otherwise, remove all of the +1s from it. Then you gain 1 life for each +1 removed this way. That's pretty fun. Lily's a fun card. Cheap, fun, gets the job done. Having her for commander damage is pretty fun. Skullbriar. Whenever Skullbriar the Walking Grave deals combat damage to a player, put a +1. Counters remain on Skullbriar as it moves to any zone other than a player's hand or library. Interesting. Yrgra, eater of all. Sacrifice other creatures or food artifacts. Whenever a food is put in a graveyard from the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Yrgra. I think I'm going to pass on that one. Agent Frank Horrigan, 5/7 mana. Has indestructible as long as it attacked this turn. When Agent Frank Horn enters the battlefield or attacks, proliferate twice. That's crazy. What a weird little guy. Is he cool? Yes. Do I want to use him? I don't know. I mean, proliferate twice gives everything 2 counters, 2 extra counters. But that CMC is crazy. 5, 6, 7 cost CMC. I think we definitely want Delighted Halfling in here, because we're casting legendaries left and right. She's probably going to be our only non-legendary. Unless we decide to go with this little combo, silly little combo. Let's see, Emissary Green. When he attacks, starting with you, each player votes profit or security. You create a number of treasure tokens equal to twice the number of profit votes. But put a number of +1 counters on each creature you control equal to the number of security votes on each creature. Okay. 4. That's a 5-drop? Man, they smoking something sometimes. He has to attack too. And he's a 3/3. I think we're going to skip on that guy. Gerard Golgari Legendary. Gets +1 for each creature card in your graveyard. Sacrifice another creature. Each opponent loses life equal to sacrificed creature's power. That could be pretty brutal if you get enough +1/+1s on something. Return Gerard from the graveyard to your hand. Okay. Yeah, well, why not? We'll throw Lich Lord in there. Kerbis Harvest Celebrant. Enters the battlefield with number +1 equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. Remove a +1, prevent all damage that will be dealt this turn to another target creature with a +1 on it. Okay, that seems reasonable. Kami, Whisper of Hopes. Add X mana of any one color where X is Kami's power. That's our boy right there, Kami. Is that all? No, we're still going. Yawgmoth, protection from humans, pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, blah blah blah. Discard a card, proliferate. I think I'm going to pass on Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth's more like combo heavy decks. You want to combo off with that guy. Cheval, Bane of Monsters. He's got Death Touch. He's a 2-drop. At the beginning of your upkeep, if your opponent controls no permanents with bounty counters on them, put a bounty counter on target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Whenever a permanent an opponent controls dies with a bounty counter, you gain 3 life and draw a card. And we're playing black. We can run like kill spells and stuff. Why not? Braids. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type with it. For each opponent who doesn't, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. We're not playing graveyard heavy play. 1 or more counters will be placed on an artifact or creature you control. That many +1 are placed on that permanent instead. If you would get one or more counters, you get that many of those counters plus ones. Eveline de Grand Pré. Death Touch. Whenever you creature you control with Death Touch deals damage to a player, put that many +1/+1 counters on that creature. That could be good. That could be good if we put the Death Touch girl in there. What's her name? This chick, Rev. That's a silly little. Why is she $64? That doesn't make sense. But oh well. Let's go back to creatures. Scroll down till we catch up. Yeah, that's a cool combo. 4-drop, 4-drop. Alright, we got a Frog Horror mount. It's got Trample Haste. Whenever the Get Rog deals combat damage to player, you may sacrifice a creature that saddled it this turn. If you do, draw X cards, then put X land cards from your hand onto the battlefield tab, where X is the sacrifice creature's power. That seems like it needs its own little commander deck. I'm not gonna fuck with that. Vorniclex, Trample Haste. I mean, Vorniclex is just a good legendary. Yeah, let's throw Vorniclex in there. Mazarek, Krull, Death Priest, flying. Whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. We can probably pass on that. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness, I don't think I want Massacre in here. All ingesting 5/6 drop. Enters the battlefield with 5+1s. If it had a +1 on it, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control that has a +1. What's Toski gonna do for us? Attacks each combat. When a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Sure, why not? Let's throw Toski in there. Batmere, New Blood. Whenever you commit a crime, put a +1 on him. Triggers only once, as long as Vladimir has 4 more +1s as Menace and Lifelink. No. Maybe. I mean, it's a 2-drop. No. What's Seraph do? Whenever a permanent an opponent controls is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1 on Seraph. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Seraph has 1 or more +1s on it, you may remove all of them. If you do, exile each other non-land permanent with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of counters removed this way. CMC less than or equal. That's crazy. That's pretty good. I don't know why that's only 49 cents. But it's pretty solid. A Pupper, Moe, Loyal Companion, Vigilance, Trample. If 1 or more +1s would be put on Moe, that many +1 I put in instead. I don't hate that. That's pretty cool. Whenever another creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had 1 or more counters on it, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. That sounds pretty reasonable. Gives us some more card draw. Those are old legendary trolls. Deals combat damage, you may put a -1/-1 target. Whenever you put a -1 counter on a creature, create a green snake token with Death Touch. Shieldred. Raska the Silencer. It's like Gorgon. Whenever a non-token creature and opponent controls dies, you may pay 1. If you do, return that card to the battlefield under your control. It's a treasure artifact. Creature spells are activate abilities of creatures. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 5 or greater, put a +1. One or more counters will be put on a permanent your team controls. That many +1 of each of those counters are put. Golem. I do like me some Lord of the Rings. Sacrifice Golem, return your graveyard to your hand. When Disciple of Freya enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, you gain X life, draw X card. Is that creature's power? No, thank you. Drivnod, Carnage Dominus. Creature dying causes a triggered ability to permanent you control trigger. That ability triggers an additional time. I mean, triggers twice. Do we have other creature dying triggers? I don't think so. This guy. How many we have 29 creatures right now? That's crazy. Alright, I'm gonna... I mean, that's not bad, but... It's not like the most game-changing thing for this deck. 6. Yorvo. Enters the battlefield with 4 +1s on it. Whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Yorvo. Then if that creature's power is greater than Yorvo's power, put another +1/+1 on Yorvo. Flying Demon. Tabarax has lifelink as long as it has 5 or more +1s on it. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, put a +1 on Tabarax. If that creature was a cleric, you may draw a card, lose 1 life. Cleric tribal, anyone? This creature died under your control this turn. The ring tempts you. Target opponent reveals card. I think I want a Yorvo. Sounds pretty cool. And then Torvarax does sound pretty good. Flying, lifelink. We're gonna be putting +1s on him anyway. And then this is one of our mana dorks that we need. Other creatures you control have Death Touch. Okay. Other untapped creatures you control have Hexproof. Untap another creature or land you control. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. This is another one of our mana dorks. Legendary creature, mana dork. Goodness. I think I'm going to pass on that, but I think I'm going to get this Viper Fang. I think that's pretty cool. Evolution Sage. Proliferate. Okay, we are past the creatures. I'm going to look up some legendary creatures of my own. Mainly, I think I want Legolas. Not that one. This one? Oh, that's green blue. Is this the one? I think yes. We want this bad boy in there. Throw a Legolas in there. Greenleaf. Power 2 or less. Whenever another legendary enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1. Did I put him in there already? I think he was like the first card I put in there. Yeah, he was. Okay. I mean, he definitely works out. Checks out. Let's go sets. Foundations. No. Sets. Foundations. Jumpstart. I was looking at this thing. Aphelia. Whenever she's attacked, she has Death Touch. She's a 2-drop. Whenever she attacks, you can pay 2. If you do, create a snake with Death Touch. And then you can do a lot with that. I think I want to put her in there. I don't know why she's $54. That doesn't make much sense. Untap it, put a +1 on this trigger. Ability triggers only once each turn. Ooh, Flying Death Touch. Whenever a player sacrifices a non-token creature. What does this guy do? Can't block. A legendary 2/1 black skeleton creature token with this creature can't block. Return target card named from your graveyard to your hand. I mean, it's not horrible, but not really what we're looking for. Anything cool over here? Power and toughness equal number of lands you control. Whenever he attacks, draw a card. then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Search your library for basic land. Whenever a center attacks, you may return a land you control. Menace, when you gain life, put a feeding counter. Okay, yeah, no. I think we are good here. Oh, let's go sets Dustmore. See if there's anything good over here. Green black Swarm Reaver. No. No. Renmaw? When Renmaw enters, and whenever you play a card with 2 or more card types, each player creates a tap 2/2 blurred that's goaded. This thing's kind of oppressive. I don't hate it though. Very impressive indeed. Is that all the commanders? Oh, alright. Let's see, what about Bloomborough? I don't think there was a lot of black, green, and Bloomborough. I mean, that's not bad. Creatures your opponents control have base stuff +1. It's got flying, trample. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. What about squirrels? No squirrels. I think I want Maha though. Let's throw that bad boy in there. Umbra, no thanks. Hazel. The odd Acorn Gang. Menace Trample Reach. Whenever 1 or more scrolls you control deal combat damage to player, draw a card. That's pretty good. Alright. I need to get back on track. We must stay focused. We must stay frugal. I think we're good on the... I don't think I want this combo. I mean, it's cool. But I think I'm going to skip on it. Because you have to have him out. Yeah. It's a 3-card combo. Pretty expensive CMC wise. I think I'm going to pass on that. Is there any other Assassin's Creed cards we can use? Not really. Oh, maybe. What's he got? Oh, then we already looked at him. Desmond Miles. That could be a cool card to build a commander deck off of. Just get as many assassins into your graveyard as possible. And then just swing for commander damage, 20 commander damage over and over. That's actually kind of cool. I kind of like that a lot. Well, I might make that my next commander I put on the list. Alright, let's see. I think we're looking good. We can just go continue on to the instant sorceries, artifacts, enchantments, all that good stuff. Alright. Beast Within is a good card. I always throw it in here at the start, and I always take it out for some reason. I'm going to try to leave it in this time. Inspiring Call. Draw a card for each +1/+1 counter. That's pretty nutty. Alright, we just added Inspiring Call and Beast Within. Inspiring Call can probably potentially draw us a bunch of cards. Let's see. Heroic Intervention is good. Protects our commander. I don't think we're going to go heavy on the instance. Destroy target non-land permanent. Proliferate. That's not bad, but it's 4 mana. Put a +1, a reach, and a death touch counter on target creature. Alright, that sounds nice. It's also very thematic with our Cleopatra snakes. Let's see, Nasty End. As additional cost to cast spells, sacrifice a creature. Draw 2 cards. If the sacrificed creature was a legendary, draw 3 cards instead. That can help us draw 3 cards for 2 mana. That's pretty nutty. Putrefy is pretty good, but I think I'm going to pass. You may sacrifice a non-token black creature. Rather than pay this mana cost, each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the greatest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers they control. That seems pretty good. Kind of like that. Let's throw that in there. Destroy target, destroy target. Infernal Grasp. As a digital cast, draw 2 cards, create a treasure token. And exile target creature. I kind of like Deadly Rollick. No one expects the exile target creature from black. It's $30 now? That's crazy. I do like Undying Malice. I think Go for the Throat is also a solid one, just to have 2 mana, destroy target, non-artifact creature. Dark Ritual, don't think we need that. Don't think we need any tutors really. Nature's Claim is solid. Just destroy target artifact or enchantment. Alright, sorceries. I think we just want the typical Toxic Deluge, board wipe stuff. I don't think we're gonna need a lot of mana. Let's see, search your library. I think maybe we throw a Cultivate. think Cultivate is solid. We throw a Cultivate in there, call it a day. Each player sacrifices a creature. If you sacrifice a creature this way, you may return another permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Reanimate's not horrible. Kadama's Reach. Shuffle Black Sun Zenith into its owner's library. Time of Need's not bad. 2-drop lets us get whatever we want for the day. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. I think that might be pretty good. Maybe not. That's pretty good. Camille's Vow. All we do is use legendary permanents. I've never used a legendary sorcery before. Have you guys? That sounds pretty nutty. That sounds pretty cool. To just drop that down. I like this. Fangs. Fangs is good. Feed the Swarm. I really love Damnation and Season of the Gathering. I'm a super big fan of Season of the Gathering. Especially if you're not in an artifact heavy deck. I think that's all we really need. Rise of the Dark Realms is a haymaker. Last March of the Ents is pretty good. Draw cards equal to the greatest. Put any number of creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. As an additional cast, sacrifice creature, draw cards equal to sacrifice creature's power. Ozolith is good. We're in our artifacts now. Battlefield. Yeah, we need this guy too. As much as I don't wait. What? Alright. Artifacts. Okay, we got Ozolith. Access and power among creatures you control. Add 2, game online whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield. Alright, yeah, the Great Hinge is good. I am not having a budget with this one. Each legendary creature you control gets +1 for each other legendary creature you control. Yes. Lightning Greaves, sure. Some Swiftfoot Boots, sure. Let's see, creatures you control have lifelink. Whenever a creature attacks, put a +1 on each creature you control. If you have City's Blessing, put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. I don't hate this thing. I mean, we are going to be swinging a lot. We're very creature heavy. Why not? That's a weird one. Power Fist. Creature has trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, put that many +1 counters on it. Kind of like that. Legendary Artifact. Agatha's Soul Cauldron. That's pretty cool. You can have some fun with that. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have all activated abilities of all creatures exiled with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. And then you just tap it for free and exile a card from a graveyard. And that also puts a +1/+1 on target creature you control. That's pretty nutty. Excalibur is pretty cool. It also costs X less to cast for each the total mana value of historic permanents. +10, +0, and Vigilance. Equip Legendary for 2. That can go hard. We definitely want Excalibur in our Legendary deck. Mithril Coat. I think I do want Mithril Coat. Why is Mithril Coat gone down? That used to be $30 card. Oh, it still is in this. Skullspore Nexus. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Whenever one or more non-token creatures you control die, create a dinosaur. Double target creature's power. Communal Brewing enters. Any number of target opponents. Each draw a card. Put an ingredient counter on communal when brewing. Then put an ingredient counter on it for each card drawn this way. Whenever you cast a creature spell, that creature enters with X additional +1 counters on it, where X is the number of ingredient counters on communal brewing. What a weird way of saying your creatures enter with 3 +1/+1 counters on them. That's not bad though. Court of Garinbrig. When Court of Garinbrig enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. Blah, blah, blah. I think I'm going to skip that. Master Chef. So +1 counter. The other creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter. That's not bad. Sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to. Kind of like Master Chef. Master Chef beat Bruin. Let's throw Master Chef in there. Let's see. Birthing Ritual, no. Guardian Project. When this creature enchantment enters, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures you control have trample. When a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters, draw a card. I think I want this in there just to give our creatures an extra trample source. Animate Dead, enchant creature card in a graveyard. Don't think we need that. Tribute of the World Tree. Draw Draw a card if its power is 3 or greater. Otherwise, put 2+1s. Tribute of the World Tree just goes so hard. It's such a good card, especially in these kind of decks. +1s. Stocking the pantry. Remove a supply counter and draw a card. And that's pretty mid. Tiny Bones joins up, enters the battlefield. Any number of target players each discard a card. Whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, any number of target players each mill a card and lose 1 life. I mean, that's not horrible. I kind of like it. I mean, we're playing legendary creatures. So, just pinging everyone for 1 life and milling 1 card. Death's Presence is good, but kind of expensive. Doubling Season is more so for tokens, not for counters. 1 ring to rule them all. The ring tempts you for then each player mills cards equal to your ring bearer's power. Destroy all non-legendary creatures. Each opponent loses 1 life for each creature card in that player's graveyard. That's kind of cool. It's like a board wipe, but for non-legendaries. I like it. Let's throw it in there. I'm also just a sucker for what's it called? Lord of the Ring cards. Black market. We're throwing black market in there too. Battles. What's this guy do? When Invasion of Fjord enters the battlefield, choose 1 or both. Destroy all legendary creatures. Destroy all non-legendary creatures. 4 or 5. That's a 6 drop. This is a 4 drop, but you have to wait a turn. Then this guy has Menace, Death Touch. When Marchesa attacks, remove all counters from up to 1 target permanent. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you haven't been dealt damage since your last turn, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Yeah, that's pretty mid. Planeswalkers. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has tap, add 1 mana of any color. I think we want that. Vraska says you draw a card, you lose 1 life, you proliferate. Target creature becomes a treasure artifact with target player has fewer than 9 poison counters on it. They get a number of poison counters equal to the difference. I think we say no to this guy. I don't know. I don't see him being useful. I think we get Vraska though. She's kind of a win con. Are we in the land section now? Yeah. Let's go to mana artifacts. Let's grab a soul ring. And then let's grab an arcane signet while we're at it. Mox Amber is not bad. Add 1 mana of any color among legendary creatures and planeswalkers you control. I think I'm gonna throw Mox Amber in here just for funsies. And then we'll leave that like that. Let's go look up more mana dorks. What's that one from Ooh, that's a good land. Let's grab that land. It returns a historic card from our graveyard to the hand, then exiles all graveyards. Not too shabby. Let's see. What were we doing? We were looking up more mana dorks. We were gonna go Duskmourn cards. I don't think it's a legendary card, but it's a good card. Wherever it's at, shimmering. It's a fucking deer. I know that much. Oh, there it is. All creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color. I think I just want this in here. It's a better version of the Planeswalker. During Vitality, and then I think that's the only non-legendary we have. And let's look up some more. Let's go back to creatures. Let's look up some more mana dorks that are legendary. Where are you? Because I know there are some. Click her. Let's go. Similar cards. I mean, we're not going to use her for that ability. These are all elves. Let's go up similar cards of her. There's one. Rishkar. I think I already have him in there, though. Let's go look. Rishkar, where are you at, big boy? Rishkar, oh yeah, you are here. Okay, we have some mana. Okay. Any other legendary creature mana dorks? I feel like there's definitely more than that. Alright, I think we are coming to a point where we have to say enough is enough. So let's try to make this work. I think I want a little bit of extra card draw here. And I'm going to do something naughty. I'm going to throw this in here. Everyone's probably going to hate me for it, but it's just too hard to pass up sometimes. And I think we kind of need that extra card draw in this deck. since we're not running tutors, we're not doing anything fancy, we're just running simple beat you up sticks. Right now we're at 87. I am going to do what I always do, and we are going to go here, go lands, tap forest, and swamp. We're just going to add these until we hit 36. And then see how many cards we have to get rid of. I don't think it's going to be too hard though, because there's some cards in this deck that are kind of just, they're there, but they're not amazing. Alright, I'm going to spread this out a little. Alright, you guys can still see that. Alright. Yeah, so we have 38 creatures. We do want to be creature heavy, but we don't need to be that creature heavy. I remember wanting to keep this guy in here. Bristly is insane. This guy, however, put a mounting counter on target creature planes. Permanent opponent controls. Yeah, this guy, not that great. I'm gonna remove him. During Vitality, gives us more mana. Draw a card, destroy target enchantment. Remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. I don't hate this card. It's not amazing though. It's got first strike death touch though, so it's not bad. Grickmaul's not horrible. I don't think I need this in here, but when it enters the battlefield, return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Alright. I'll allow it. Alright, Jahard, Lich Lord. Each creature card in your graveyard gets +1. I think we get rid of this guy. Kona lets us cheat out stuff for free sometimes. And I think I just want that in my life. Is Kami not a legendary? I guess not. That's crazy. Each one of our non-legendaries has a purpose, I believe. Legolas. I think we can get rid of him. So I think, yeah, we can get rid of that. What about the Legolas instant though? Quick reflex. Split second. Untap target creature. Until end of turn, it gains hexproof reach, and whenever this creature becomes tapped, it deals damage equal to its power up to 1 target creature. I don't hate that. I don't really see... We could have potential for that. Let's throw that in there. And I don't think we need it. Alright. Lily Bowen, we're keeping her. She's fun. Alright, we got the Elf Druid that adds... Yeah, we do. Okay, Maha. I think that's just a cool blanket effect that makes things hard for our opponents. At the beginning of each step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that creature's mana value is less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have, return it to the battlefield. Okay, that's fine. Mowu. Trample Vigilance. I don't hate that. I think he's good. Whenever you play a legendary spell, draw a card. He's also a legendary. Partner, Menace. Whenever another creature you control leaves the battlefield, if you had one or more counters on it, draw a card. I think we might get rid of this. I don't know. Maybe not. Rev, I think, is good, but I don't know. I think we remove her. Rishkar. Other attack creatures you control have Death Touch. Other untapped creatures you control have Hexproof. That's fine. That's fine. Toski. That's good. God, I hate it when these $54. Y'all crazy. Alright. I mean, that art goes hard. Look at that. That's crazy. Is that new? KHM? I think that's the new set. I like this guy. Yorvo. We might not need Yorvo. How many green creatures do we have? I mean, we have a lot of green creatures. I don't feel like Yorvo is the worst idea in this deck. Flying First Strike. Okay, we got 34 creatures. That's solid. Alright, sorceries. What do we want to get rid of here? Cultivate. I really like that. Toxic Deluge, Time of Need. I don't really think we need a tutor in this deck. I mean, it's good. What are we going to tutor for, though? Vorniclex, maybe? Or one of our mana dorks? Or Maha? I mean, the deck's kind of built in a way that everything in the deck is a threat because of the commander. So I don't think we need Time of Need. Alright, we have 12 instants. I don't think that's necessary. Undialing Malice is pretty okay. This does the same thing, sort of. Nature's Claim. I think we get rid of this. Inspiring Call is good. Go for the throat. Sure. Sure. I think we get rid of Beast Within because we have Assassin's Trophy. Nasty End's pretty good. It's pretty nasty. I think we get rid of this. It's not really giving us much. And maybe Undying Malice. Maybe not Undying. Yeah, Undying Malice is good, but we have other things to protect our creatures and such. Alright, artifacts is going to be where it's hard. I want to switch this printing to something more eligible. Sure. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it has counters on it, but those counters on Agrath, Pills, or Kings. Oh, Ozolith. I really like Agatha's Soul Cauldron. I really like this card too. Whenever a creature attacks, put a +1 on it. Put 2 if you have City's Blessing. I think we can get rid of this. Yeah. Hero's Podium's good. Mithril Coat, yeah. Quick creature has trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage, but that many plus. I think Power Fist has a place in this deck. We have 14 artifacts. Don't think that's necessary. Mox Amber's good because we're gonna just have legendaries on the field all the time. Great Hinge. I think we get rid of Great Hinge, honestly. It gives us card draw, though. We have to have a 7/7 to make it worth. It's going to take a lot of ramping to get to that. I don't know. This guy's a 4/4. Forniclex is a 6/6. Like, there's potential here. Maha's a 6/5. Kona's a 4/3. This guy's gonna be pretty nutty. Arwen, Weaver of Hope. Okay, yeah. Cultivate. Yeah, we need Cultivate in here. Damnation, Blasphemous Edict has become a rather good. Toxic Deluge, Season of the Gathering. I really like the sorceries. Instances. We can. I think Flare of Malice might have to go. I don't know. I think Deadly Rollick might have to go actually. Yeah. Kill that. Nasty End is good. Go for the Throat is fine. Yeah, let's keep that line up. 7 instants, 7 sorceries. That's pretty solid. What about, did we add a Planeswalker? We did. I think we keep her. Draw a card, you lose 1 life, you proliferate. We can just snipe someone if it gets to that point. I think Kona might have to go. From your hand onto the battlefield. There's nothing we really want to slam down here. Everything's pretty cheap. Except for like Vorniclex, and that's about it. Yeah, I think we get rid of Kona. Goodbye, Kona, my friend. Alright, we have 10 cards to get rid of. Let's see. Definitely want some commander protection. So Mithril Coat, Lightning Greaves, Excalibur more or less. Those are good. I think Power Fist is probably the most mediocre one here. If one or more +1 on artifact or creature you control, that many +1 instead. Put a +1 on target artifact. I mean, that just doubles our stuff. That's our shit. That's some good stuff. Fuck, I don't want to get rid of any artifacts. Alright, enchantments. What do we got over here? 11 enchantments. Tiny Bones. I don't think it's going to do much for us in the long run. I mean, sure, pinging everyone for 1 is cool. But I don't think it's going to be like the game winner, you know? Master Chef. Master Chef's just good. Innkeeper Talent is really good for this deck. Communal Brewing is good. Creatures you control have Trample, yeah. Black Market. I think maybe we get rid of a Black Market. That's hard though. Vraska joins up, enters the battlefield, put a death touch counter on each creature you control. Whenever a legendary creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. We gotta get rid of 8 cards. This is where it gets difficult. I think we gotta get rid of 8 creatures. Every creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player. Put that many +1/+1 counters on that creature. That's not a bad card. Let's sort by CMC. Alright. We don't have a lot of cheap 1 cost, 1 drops. Alright, our most expensive is Vorniclex. 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5. Maybe the bird's gotta go. Yeah, thinking the bird might have to go. Doesn't really help our agenda much. Just makes all of our opponent's creatures 1. That's good though for like entering the battlefield with extra +1 counters on it. I like Toski. Other trap creatures you control have Death Touch. What's the point of having a tapped creature with Death Touch? Untapped creatures you control have Hexproof. That's really good. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1 on him. Sacrifice another creature, gains indestructible. I think we get rid of this guy. He's pretty mid. He has haste though. Haste is good. I want him to be good, but he just doesn't seem that good. Let's read our commander again. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1 on each of up to 2 other target legendary creatures. Whenever a legendary creature that you control dies, draw a card for each counter on it. I mean, that's not bad. I can just kill off one of our legendaries with this guy and draw cards if we needed to. Has lifelink. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, but +1. If that creature was a cleric, you may draw a card. If you do, I think this guy might need to go. Do we have any clerics? We have one cleric. I think that cleric might need to go as well. Yeah, that's just doing what our commander does, but a little bit worse. I don't know. She has menace though. Enters the battlefield with 3 +1s on it. Whenever creature you control dies or is put into the command zone, if you had 1 or more +1 counters, that many +1/+1 counters on target creature. That's basically Ozolith, but creature mode. I think we get rid of this guy. The amount of black cards in this deck has really dwindled. That's good. Zombie. I think that's like all the creatures we can remove, other than maybe Viper Fang. But giving everyone hexproof is pretty good. We have 7 cards to remove. Big ol' 7. Let's see. Gift of Viper. Did we get rid of that guy that gives everyone Death Touch? No, alright. think we did. Equals the number of mana spent to cast it. Huh. I am. Yeah, I think we did get rid of that guy with the death touch counter. Oh no, there he is. Yeah, whenever you control. Creature control with death touch. Okay, yeah, he's still in there. So if he's still in here, I think I want to keep Gift of the Viper. Just so we have that synergy. Adds an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Flare of Malice is pretty good. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the greatest mana value. That's 3 sacrifices. That's really solid. We got an Arcane Signet, Soul Ring Mox. We got Pillars. Or the Ozolith. I got the Lightning Greave Boots, Mithril Coat. Mithril Coat's just good. It attaches to a legendary creature. These Lightning Greaves keeps our legendaries alive. I think Great Hinge might need to go. I want to get rid of Great Hinge. And yeah, say we get rid of Great Hinge. We have 6 cards. Oh man. Why is life so difficult? Um 6 cards, eh? Maybe we get rid of Cultivate. Now we're down to 6 sorcery, 6 instant. Man, I don't really want to get rid of this guy. But it's looking like he's the only one that really got to go. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of him. Lily Bowen's kind of a Hail Mary kind of dude. We have a decent amount of death touch play. But do we think it's enough to just build off of it? I don't think it is. I mean, this is first strike death touch. This has death touch. Let's see. Yeah, I think maybe we get rid of Aveline and his death touch companions. Yeah, this has death touch. Get rid of Aveline and get rid of the Gift of Viper. gives us 2 cards to choose from to get rid of. Kind of like Viper Fang giving everything hexproof. Renata is equal to devotion to green. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on. I don't hate this card, but I think it might need to go. Yeah, it's a little underwhelming. All right, we have 29 cards. Part of me just wants to get rid of Go for the Throat. We have board wipes, we have other ways to deal with threats. Go for the Throat's pretty strong though. Mox Amber, Arcane Signet is pretty good. Decisions. Fuck. One more card. There's gotta be an enchantment I can decide to get rid of. There's kind of not, though. Maybe One Ring. Destroy all non-legendary creatures, though. That goes so hard. You know what? I'm gonna do it. We're gonna play 51-35 lands. And we're gonna leave it like that. 100 in the main deck. I will edit this land base a little bit later. You can check the deck list in the description for that updated land list. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Not sure who I'm going to put next in the polls. I might replace Cleopatra with, let's see. I might replace Cleopatra with, what's his name? Desmond Miles, because he seems pretty cool. He seems a little unique. And because no one really commented on this poll, I guess someone really wanted to see Cleopatra. They've been voting on it every time they get a chance. But yeah, no one left a comment to add something new in, so I'm just gonna add whatever I want. So I think that's gonna be Desmond Miles. And yeah, hope you guys all have a good night, good day, whatever it is. And I'll see you around. Bye-bye. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.